Hey people, my name is Viv and welcome back to another vlog. I'm going to be very candid with you and I'm going to ask this question before I even start. Lagos people, how are you guys coping? How are you guys doing? Are you people okay? Is everything alright in that time? I hope everything is good because what my eyes saw. So I came to Lagos to buy a few things and it was like a very, very brief visit. So I kind of like just dashed in and dashed out of Lagos. And, by the time I got to Lagos with the whole fuel hike thing, the cost of boats was outrageous. Even the cheaper one in drive was also very expensive. And I really don't blame people for setting those prices. Do you get? I really don't blame the situation. Then I decided to use public transportation to go to Ojota to buy some things. As I got to Agungi bus stop, I was standing there, I waited for a while. I was trying to get the vehicle going towards Oshodi, Oworo, to be able to enter Ojota from there. Normally, when outside peak hours, Oshodi to Oworo, Agungi to Oshodi or Oworo is like 700, 800, right? And there was this bus that just drove and the bus was like, enter for 600. I entered. There were two guys sitting in front, then the driver. So I just greeted. I was the first passenger. I just greeted, good morning. They didn't answer the first time. I waited and then I said good morning again the second time. And then they all responded. But something felt very odd while I was inside this vehicle. Like it felt really, when I mean odd, when you're so aware spiritually that something is off when you walk into a place. That is exactly how I felt when I got there. So as I got in, I was seated just behind the driver. And then, my spirit was just not at peace. My spirit was just like there was war in my spirit. And mind you, before I left the house, I kind of like did some manifestation things and just prayed and asked God for favor that day. And I was really hoping for the best. As we drove and got to Osapa London bus stop, another guy entered. Before he entered, he asked the driver, how much to Woro? Driver said 600. He asked the driver, can I pay 500? And the driver said enter. As I just heard enter for 500, fear catch me. I was instantly afraid because I'm like, is this no longer Lagos? Who will carry you from there, from Osapa, London to Oronshoki? If you know Lagos very well, you know that that distance is quite far. And most buses will not agree to carry for that amount. I just relaxed. I was like, maybe this guy is he's just using he just wants to make sharp, sharp money. Let him just do it. And the next thing was now noticing it was like he was selecting passengers. It wasn't everyone he was carrying. He wasn't picking everybody. He was, selecting the people he would pick. As we got to, I think it was Ikate, right? Oh, mind you, before we got to Ikate, this guy just stopped abruptly. I think it was around Jakonde. He stopped abruptly and was like, Muna, find me 1,000, make I settle these people. First thing that came to my mind is, who uses 1,000 to settle anybody? Even if you want to settle all these Agberus or NURTW, if you want to settle any of those people, right? I've never heard that you use 1K. What are you paying 1K for? My spirit, like it was like, see if I was very, very unsettled. I was unsettled. At that instant was when I started sharing my WhatsApp location. I just shared my live location with my cousin instantly. 1,000 naira. So the guy that was still next to me, remember the guy that came in from Osapa? The guy brought out 1K and gave the driver. At that moment, this guy started making calls. This guy was making calls, but the call was not ending. I mean, normally you want to make calls in the car, right? You go on make call, 1-2 minutes, then third person, let me call you back. I'm inside the bus because it can get noisy. The guy was still talking and it sounded like he was talking to his babe. Every other person that was now coming in, a lot of them were now making call. It don't be like saying, now only me know they make call. The guy waiting for front. The guy in front. The guy in front started making call. One lady at the back was making call. Everything just started feeling odd. When we got to Ikate, this was when I just knew, I'm going to get down from this bus. We got to Ikate. One guy just crossed from the other side of the road. The driver did not say where we were going to. My cousin said, it's possible he knew that because of the color of the bus. I said that one is nothing. It doesn't make sense. Like, at least, okay, the guy crossed from the other side of the road and just entered inside. The only thing he said was how much. The driver did not answer him. The driver did not say where we were going, so he didn't know where we were going. But somehow he just followed us. And he now went to go and sit at the back seat. As soon as we got to Lekki phase 1, I just shouted, driver, I beg, no vex. So tap the driver. I beg, stop me. I don't forget something. No, I don't forget. Jesus. I now told him that, this is the main reason I'm even going to Oshodi. The nylon was supposed to carry, I leave out for house. I guys go back. And then he stopped. I now asked him, so how much am I going to give you? He was like, I'm going to pay 400. I was like, 400? That is just from Agungi here to Lekki phase 1. I had to act it like, for it to seem very real. He was like, yes, I'll have to pay him 400. I said, okay, no wahala now. Shall give me the change? He now asked every other person to pay. I was very tempted to touch the guy next to me or to tell him to calm down or even give him sign for him to calm down. But I was like, it's like all of them are in on this thing. It's even possible that, because the guy was selecting the passengers he was picking. He wasn't picking everyone. What came to my mind is, it's possible this one is in on it too. This is the guy making call. This is the guy that gave this guy 1K. Maybe if I told him to come down, he would have alerted the driver and he would have robbed all of us. I don't even know the real passengers in the car because everything just seemed off. Other things I noticed in the vehicle was, when you're inside the bus, there are usually these registration stickers that they put in the front of the bus. There was not one registration, not one single sticker in that bus. On my left-hand side, that's by the window. The window, this thing there, although the window wasn't covered, but the window was tinted. The window was tinted black. Then on this other side, that's on my right-hand side towards where you come out of the bus, the window it wasn't tinted, but it wasn't clear. It was as if the glass had scratches on it, right? Like it was looking like a mosaic stuff. Like you can't really see from outside what's going on inside. I want to use this opportunity to thank God. The reason I'm doing this video is because a lot of criminal activities have been happening in Nigeria due to inflation, due to the high cost of things. People have to survive, right? People have to stay alive. And one of the ways they stay alive is by robbing people. Imagine if my phone and everything was taken from me. Like, I would have literally cried. It's many things I'm going to tell you from this video. Like, I had to, expressly say all these things so you have an idea of what it would look like when you've entered one chance. And then besides that, I also need to tell you to be very, very prayerful. Before you go out of your house, pray. When you're inside, like, be spiritually aware of what is going on around you. If your spirit is not okay with something, stop it immediately. If your spirit is not okay with where you are, come out, because anything bad can happen to you. That's all I said I should tell you. Anyways, just please share this video with your friends that are living in even if you're not in Lagos, share with people in Lagos, people who use public transportation. Now that things are hard, people will be tempted to use public transport. Let them be aware and let them know. For someone who will come and tell me, how are you sure there is one chance? I was sure on my inside. I did not have to wait till something bad happened to me to be certain that I entered one chance. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye and peace.